Die parlementêre proses om onteiening sonder vergoeding uitdruklik in die grondwet in te skryf, het nog 'n wending geneem. Die ANC het Vrydag amptelik voorgestel dat die grondwet gewysig moet word om ook staatsvoogdyskap van sekere grond te bevorder. Dit nadat president Ramaphosa 2 weke gelede privaat eienaarskap van grond uitdruklik verdedig het. Behoort die staat inderdaad meer beheer oor grond te kry? Regina Lesoma, ANC-LP en voorsitter van die ANC studiegroep wat die wysiging voorgestel het, sluit nou by my aan. Regina, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your good self and the listeners and the viewers.
Regina, why did the ANC propose at this late stage to insert a provision for state custodianship of land into its suggestion for a constitutional change?
Okay, probably let's start here for the benefit of the viewers as well, that it's very critically important for ANC outside and in government to be very consistent in terms of its policies. And one of our policies is to ensure that we redress the imbalances of the past, but also in so doing, just quickly to direct your question, is that in so doing, we must ensure that we expropriate land without compensation and make what is implicit to be explicit through the amendment of Section 25. But also, you might not be aware that as the ANC, we have extended a hand to all political parties to hold bilaterals with them. Through that engagement of those processes, we felt that there is something that is missing, but also in terms of the custodianship of land, as it were, is not the same as what some of our colleagues in Parliament are advocating.
So the EFF, for example, just to move to the EFF for a moment, they want nationalisation of land, but they were the party who suggested state custodianship be explicitly mentioned in the Constitution. This was never the ANC's plan. Are you not moving outside of the mandate of the committee here?
No, we are not, by the way. Let me just deal with the EFF custodianship. They are dealing with the custodianship, which is equal to nationalization. What they are saying is that they include all property. With us, the difference with us, who are not dealing with property, we are dealing with land, which is not property, and property is not land, or limited to land, as it were. So we are not. But also for the state to be able to redistribute the land, it must have the land first, and then we can redistribute it. What it means is that we are saying that one is an intermediate process. Following due processes, then the land will be redistributed to the people that they deserve. But also for what good reasons? For securing food security and economic agricultural development, as it were.
Regina,
which is very important for us to learn.
Sorry, a group of Mpumalanga farmers told Minister Toko Didiza a few months ago that they really crave title deeds over their lands, and even President Ramaphosa referred to these farmers in a recent press conference, and the president said that South Africans want ownership of land, black farmers want ownership of land. How do these farmers who've been messed about by government for many years know that after government is the custodian of land, that government will eventually give deserving people title deeds to valuable agricultural land?
You might be also aware that recently the President and the Minister of Land Reform also, they've been issuing title deeds to the deserving individuals, as it were, including those farmers as well. I might not be with a specific of those Mpumalanga farmers, but I understand that they raised the matter with the president, equally with the minister, as the portfolio committees, which there is a responsible portfolio committee. We will, from where I'm seated, also to ensure that they take up that issue and deal with the details, because here you are more general. We are not too sure what are the specific. Probably you might have an advantage, but I don't have that advantage. For me, is to take that issue back to Parliament and write to the Honourable Minister to say, can you appraise us? Notwithstanding that we are an ad hoc committee, but also our interest to service all the people of South Africa, in particular when it's concerning land, which is one of our apex of this administration.
Regina, but the ANC is in a difficult position because at Nasrec, the party decided to change the constitution to make expropriation without compensation explicit. But now the EFF is asking for something much more than that. And the only way that you can reach 66% majority in parliament to change the constitution is if you either have the support of the DA or of the EFF in your constitutional proposal. What are the chances of reaching consensus with the EFF on this issue?
Probably we need to ask ourselves, what is the real issue that we're dealing with, or what do we seek to address? We seek to address, to change the land ownership patterns in an equitable share, in an equitable manner, in a democratic manner, that also makes sure that all South Africans gain access to land, to live in it, but also to have economical activities on that land. That's one. But two, also, it's not about whether do we have numbers or not. I'm sure all political parties that have been voted in parliament who want to address the needs of the marginalized, previously marginalized individuals in whatever form, but in particular in terms of the land question, they must also see a need to do that. In the process of doing that, we shouldn't be reckless. We must make sure that the text, when we write that text, does see the light of the day in terms of the court to ensure that what we have committed ourselves in terms of three land tenure ownership, which is the private ownership, individual private ownership, as well as communal land, that protocol is being observed. So we are not reckless in terms of amending the constitution, hence the wording also. If you go to subsection 5, where it talks to the custodian, what the other word that South Africans must underline is that state custodianship of certain land, not across the board in terms of the land, as it were. So that's where the trick is, legally speaking.
Regina,
it's not the same. But
very briefly, we've run out of time. Just one last question. Minister Togodidiza has recognized that her department does not have the capacity at the moment to own properly and to manage properly as custodian the land which government owns at the moment. What will you do to address that problem? So when people criticize you, it's also because they're worried that you can't do what you say you want to do.
That is why if we go to section 25 as well, is to say that state must take necessary, implement necessary mechanism to ensure within its own resources. So it's more of a progressive issue that is going to be attended to. Because even those incapacity, as it were, must be broken down to chunkies to say which area that we need capacity so that we ensure that we change the land ownership patterns of this country, which also in terms of what we want to address is to reappeal the land of 1913 Act that was depriving the most majority of this country to get the land. And that's what we are committed to as the ANC.
Regina Lesoma, thank you very, very much. Om te hoor wat die DA oor die kwessie te sê het, bly ingeskakel.